What is up, YouTube? Bubbles and Ball Cards back with another video. Hope everybody is doing good out there. I just wanted to touch a little bit, just do a video talking on the Chantilly Card Show. I did go up for one day. I went up on Saturday. Had a couple other things I needed to get taken care of up that way anyway. And so I figured, go ahead and check out the show. We originally weren't planning on going simply because the National is next month and James didn't get to come down and just, I didn't really feel the need to go to Chantilly and then go to the National because a lot of the dealers that I even talk to and deal with at Chantilly are at the National anyway. So it just wasn't in the plans, but had to go up anyway. So checked out the show while we were there. Few things to touch on. When we first got there, the parking lot was absolutely packed, and it didn't feel packed inside. But later, as the day went on, it did get really busy. So the attendance was good. There was a line waiting for tickets at the door. Um, Inside, it was there was a lot more. It felt like a memorabilia dealers, which was interesting. There was a lot of folks set up that I had never seen before. So that was a bit different, and it could again remember Nationals next month, so there could have been some card dealers that gave their spot up this month to you know prepare for the National, and then memorabilia dealers filled in or what have you. But that was something definitely different that I noticed. But I walked around, you can tell just from hearing conversations, like if you're standing looking at a display case and you hear somebody, interacting with the dealer or what have you, you can kind of get this feeling of whether or not the person is, I don't want to say new, but um, relatively newer into the space. So I was hearing a lot of that. People that just asking a lot of questions, which is a good thing. But the issue that I was also hearing is the dealers were BSing a lot. So um just something I took note of. There does seem to be some more activity with newer folks, younger people. Like when I say younger, probably 20-ish age. Felt like a lot more of them in the space. But anyway, I ended up sadly I didn't buy anything, and just to explain why. Um, The prices sucked. The price I'll just be frank about it. The prices sucked. Um, there was one guy, and I'm gonna go through this one first because it just made no sense to me. Um, I go up to a table, kind of looking through his display case, and then I seen he had a box sitting there on the side. And I noticed in the box that there was a Ken Griffey Jr. Anybody that's watched the channel knows I like collecting Griffey. And so I thought immediately, honey hole, like found what I would enjoy looking for. He had a lot of Griffey in there. Now, I go through, well, first of all, I ask the two guys standing at the booth, I was like, is this your stuff? Because it was kind of an L shaped area and they were all like to the left. So I didn't know if it was all theirs or not. And they said, no, that's our buddies. And I'm like, okay, do you know where he's at? And they're like, well, he'll be back in a little bit. So I browse through the box and I make a stack. And Finally, their buddy returns. He comes back and plops stuff on the display case and just starts talking to those guys and is like, I can't believe how much money I just spent, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, he finally comes around and sits behind his display case, where most dealers attend the show. And so I asked him, I was like, "Are these yours?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, if I buy this stack, can you do any better?" And so at this time, like I hadn't even looked anything up. I was just going off of cards I liked, the way they looked, the if I didn't have them, if I knew I didn't have them, that sort of thing. I didn't really look up pricing, so I didn't even know how much was the total in the stack I had. I just made a stack, wanted to see what he could do on it. So he goes through looking at them and he comes back and says, "Man, I just took a lot off. My sticker price is 550. I'll do 400." And so mentally I'm thinking, well, damn, he's giving me a hell of a deal. He just knocked $150 off. Maybe my initial thought was, well, maybe since he just said he spent a bunch of money, he's trying to recoup some real quick, right? He's going to give me a bargain. So I'm sitting, I'm looking through them, and I take out a couple of the bigger ones, and I just wanted to look them up to just see what prices were at. Where was he at? And shouldn't have been any surprise, but one of the cards that was priced $80, recently, the last sold price was $22. There was one that was, I can't remember if it was $40 or $60 sticker price. Recently, it sold for $16. And to be quite honest, I didn't go any further looking stuff up because as I was going to, ask him about it and show him this to try to negotiate a little bit. And I wasn't trying to lowball him, but I also don't want to pay, 1.5 to 3x on cards. He just gets up and walks away from the table again. Like while we are in the middle of potentially doing a transaction, he just walks away. So I look at his buddies and I was like, uh, do you know where he went? And they're like, oh no, he'll probably be back in a little bit. That was an immediate turnoff. Even if he would have negotiated, I was standing there like already engaged in conversation, had a stack of cards sitting there, and he just walks away. So not only was his prices insanely high, um, that's not the way you do business. Like, if you want to make a sale, don't walk away from the customer because I don't know about you guys, but especially with overpriced items, I'm not going to sit there and waste my time for you to come back. Like, we had already started talking. So I took all of the whole stack, I put it back in the box, and I just walked away. There was another card that caught my eye in a display case. It was a Donruss Classics David Ortiz, and I'll actually pull it up just so I can give you guys um, numbers. Or it was Donruss Signature Series. I'm sorry, David Ortiz. So this card is 1997 Donruss Classics. Or Donruss Signature. I don't know why I keep saying classics. Donruss Signature Series, David Ortiz, um, autograph. Now, it looks like one just sold on the 24th for 148.05. But when I was there at the show looking, I seen this one for $80. Here was one for $92. This one was $69. So I was seeing prices. Here's at $81. So I was seeing prices in that $60 to $80 range. So looking back on this one, if I had seen, because this January 24th comp, I did not see that. But it did 148. I was seeing the $60 to $80 comps to be fair with this deal. But I asked the guy how much, and he said 150. And I look at it and I hand it back to him, and I really wasn't interested in a David Ortiz auto at $150. Um, it wasn't even necessarily about his price versus comp or whatever. I wasn't looking to spend 150 on a David Ortiz. But I'm looking at his other stuff, and he's like, "You don't want to pay 150 on that? What would you do?" He's like, "Look it up. Go ahead and look it up. I swear they're probably $200." And so I look it up, and that's when, again, to be fair, I seen the $69 comp and a couple $80 ones. And he asked, he's like, "What are you seeing on eBay?" And I was like, "Well, I see a $69 and a couple $80." And he's like, "Yeah, I can't do that." And in fairness, like I said, there was a 148 sale on June 24th. So yeah, he shouldn't have taken less. Um, but that card is something that obviously, if you're patient, it has also, I mean, the $80 sale was June 8th. So 80 on June 8th, 148 on June 24th, and then, a 92 on May 29th, and there was a 60, yeah, 81 on April. So if you're patient, you can find that card nearly half price. So, and again, I wasn't trying to pay 150 on a David Ortiz. There was a few others, and I can't remember all of them, that I had asked price on, and it wasn't in the ballpark of what I was looking to be at. There was one card that was really cool, and I think it might have been priced really fair. This is actually funny though, because two different dealers had similar cards. The serial numbers were just different. And so one was, it was a Leaf, Harrison Ford Relic Auto. That's the card. Um, One dealer had one numbered out of 25, one dealer had one numbered out of 15. And it was hilarious because at the same show, same card, two different serial numbers, the one out of 25 was priced at $650. The one out of 15 was priced at $500. So I thought that was very funny. It just showed that the pricing is just whack right now. But I was seriously considering the one out of 15. Again, if the national wasn't next month, might have pulled the trigger, but I also wasn't looking to drop $500. I think the price could be relatively good though on that card. I don't think, and I've bought from that dealer before. His prices are usually pretty good. Um, so I think that one, if it wasn't the time and the national coming up and, going to be spending money traveling and all that, I might have bought it. But overall, most of the stuff, it just didn't make sense. And I'll tell you guys another thing with buying cards right now. There is a pretty, and I'm not going to say on everything, but on a lot of stuff, there's a pretty big discrepancy. And I was actually having this discussion yesterday. Um, there's a discrepancy over auction prices right now that a lot of them are ending really low. And this isn't just in sports cards; it's like everything. Auction prices on eBay are coming in a lot lower than buy it nows. Some of them substantially lower. And I really wonder if this trend isn't part of what has keeps softening the market of cards. Not long ago, you could run an auction and be pretty close to what a buy it now would be because people were buying, you know, at a market value. But there is like, it doesn't feel like a solid market value anymore. Just like I was saying on this David Ortiz card, I'm finding prices from $69 to $148, right? That's a huge margin in a short period of time. So it doesn't feel like there's solid market values. And in the auctions, I think what we're seeing a lot of times is people want to buy at the auction price and sell at the buy it now price. And I think that's where some of this could be coming from. Um, to be fair and honest, if I see that at auctions stuff's going at $60, but at buy it now they're going at $120, and the dealer has a price that even remotely close to 120, I'm going to pass on it and I'm just going to put that in my memory bank. And if I if it's something I really can't live without, I'll get on and be patient and try to find an auction. So I think that's what a lot of folks are doing now. They're hitting up the sites that they know run auctions, the sellers that are consigners that are running auctions, and they're just cherry picking, picking up those lower items. I think there's some arbitrage there, buying at auction and flipping at buy it now. It's possible, but that's kind of my thoughts on Chantilly and what are we going to expect heading into the national? That's the unknown question. We obviously last year it was lack of internet service and prices were a little cuckoo, but we'll see how it goes this year. Anyway, just wanted to get on chat with you guys a little bit. If you haven't, subscribe, comment, like, all of that good jazz. But hope you guys have a wonderful day. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. And until the next video, I'm out.